Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. And today, we're going to do a quick bearing change on my new one. I'm going to call it my new one. This is the John Demko one. And as you can see, I got some of my favorite orange-handled Cheetos knives out here just to hang out. This is the first one. This one that my father gave me. My pops back in the 1960s. It's an old... I think I've told you guys about this one. It's an old paratrooper's knife. I think it's made by Charade Walden. That's what it says on it, Charade Walden. Made in the United States. This used to be a switchblade. It's a paratrooper's knife. If you get stuck on some trees or something, you can open it up and cut your cords so you can get unstuck. But this is a paratrooper's knife, Air Force knife. All right. And this one right here, y'all know this one. This is one of my newer orange ones. This is my Ultimate Hunter that's in my box for this year. It's a new cold steel model with the new labeling. Absolutely love it. It's another great knife that doesn't weigh too much. It's a great size. See how much it weighs real quick. I think it's like right around 5 ounces. Five point oh ounces. Excellent knife. Excellent EDC knife, excellent hunting knife. One thing that's cool about the orange handle is if you're out in the wilderness somewhere, if you drop this, it makes it a lot easier to find if you had a dark colored handle. Absolutely love it. And my first AD20, 20.5, came with the orange Grivory handle scales. All right, let's go ahead and crack this one open, the one that John Demko just sent back to me. I want to put my skiff bearings in it. Why? Because I want to start carrying it. Y'all know me, I want to carry this bad boy. This one's going to get carried all the time. This is not going to be a collector. This is going to be a straight up user. It's going to get carried. Probably get carried more than an aluminum one. John Demko did an excellent job on this knife. Couldn't ask for a better job. I'm totally impressed with the Demkos now. I've had my personal experience with them now. Well, at least John, should I say, not Andrew. But I've had a personal experience with John Demko now. I think he's an awesome person. See what the scale look like? G10. It's a G10 scale. Nice solid slab American G10. Super strong. Okay. Yep, that's brand new. You put a new lock bar in there. The other one had a groove worn in it right here. This one's brand new. There's no groove in it. Looks good. Got the stock bearings in there. I'm going to leave this one exactly the way John sent it to me. The only thing I'm changing is the bearings. Because I got to have my skiff bearings. I like my skiff bearings better. Skiff bearings, I like my deep carry Lynch deep carry pocket clips better too than the stock ones. These are the bearings I use. They have a 1/4 of an inch pivot size, and the bearing size is 1 millimeter. 1/4 of an inch pivot with the bearing size of 1 millimeter. Encased in phosphor bronze, and with a 22 count on ball bearing count. It's a double row bearing. These bearings are awesome. I requested these from Skiff because I knew that the S model needed its own bearings. So if you want to get these bearings, you got to go to Skiff. I don't think you can get them anywhere else. You have to go to Skiff, because I looked all over the place for bearings like this, and then I just had to request it from Skiff, and then they told me that they had them. I actually sent them an email, and they responded. Skip bearings rocks. Absolutely like skip bearings. Love skip bearings. Put a little bit of my lithium grease on my bearings, like I like to do. I'll show you the bearings really good. I don't know if the shot will show up. That's what the bearing looks like. Looks the same on both sides. Put a little dab of oil in there. As y'all know, I like to lube things. I don't like to run things dry. All right. Alright. I even like to put a little bit of lube on the slide. Anything that rubs against metal, I always like to put a little bit of lube on it. The spring, I actually like to dip it in grease. I like it to be totally encased in grease. And I learned about doing stuff like this from, just doing a lot of, being a mechanic in the military, and I was a tank mechanic in the middle, 63 Charlie and 63 Yankee in the military. Tank mechanic, I was also a wheel vehicle mechanic, and a medic, combat medic, 91 Alpha. And one thing I learned about anything that's made out of metal that rubs against other metal, if you lubricate it, it lasts a lot longer. Takes away a lot of the wear. I know people don't like to put a lot of lube and things on knives and stuff because they don't want to deal with the lint and having to clean them all the time or whatever. But if you want your knife to last a long time and work flawlessly without wearing out and getting up and down play and all that kind of other stuff that happens when metal to metal bangs against each other and it wears out each other, lubricate it. It'll last longer and it won't wear as fast. It'll take a lot longer for it to wear out. That's my advice. I think I put a little dab of oil in here too. All right. This is the way I treat all the knives I use a lot. I always take them apart and set them up the way I like them. With the bearings I like, in the case of these knives, I like them with the skip bearings. You gotta always make sure that this is seated. And you gotta make sure that this feels like it's flush against. Yeah, that's seated. Okay. Now it's ready to put the handle scale on. Wipe everything down. This is going to be one of my most treasured knives. When I first got it, and I saw that it had an up and down play, it stressed me out a little bit. And, you know, I decided just to contact John Demko. You know, because back in the day, if I had something like that, I always used to just contact Cold Steel. And Cold Steel would just handle it. They didn't, you know, they didn't act like they didn't want to fix things and stuff like that. They would just say, send it to them. And they'll take a look at it, see what's wrong with it. See if they can do something about it. And they would always just replace stuff. But this one, John Demko repaired. So it's actually had his time and his labor on it. His personal time and labor and his personal touch. So that means a lot to me. I don't know if it means anything to you guys, but to me it means a lot. It adds value to something. Because John and Andrew Demko, I've been following them guys for a long time as far as their products and stuff are concerned. And I've been using Cold Steel knives that were designed by Andrew Demko forever. For the last over a decade, you know, last 12, 13, 14 years or whatever. However long that John Demko was making triad locks. That's how long I've been using his knives. Okay, right about there and back it up. Just a touch. And that should be it. Perfectly centered. Oh, this knife is perfect. Perfect. This is a beautiful knife. Absolutely love it. And it's my favorite blade. And it was totally refurbished by John Demko. He replaced the shark's fin on it. No up and down play anymore. You replace the screw back here on it. Everything fits perfectly. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, I didn't put my pocket clip on there yet, huh? I'm acting like I'm all done. This is how I keep all my bearings, people. I got a lot of bearings. Keep all my bearings in here. And all the bearings I have are for Demko knives. I've never put bearings on any other knives, just Demko knives. Because I just figured, you know, on budget knives, I don't worry about it and stuff like that. But these aren't budget knives. You know, the Demko knives to me aren't budget knives. Not even the 80-20.5, I don't think of that one's a budget knife either. All right, so we got a black pocket clip from Lynch Northwest. That's for another knife. And I got this one for this one. I like the Stonewash titanium pocket clips, deep carry pocket clips. So we're going to go ahead and swap this one out. And then this knife will be done. Always keep the old pocket clips. I use Militech 1 lithium-based grease and gun grease and gun oil. People always ask me what kind of stuff I use. That's what I always use. Been using it forever. I'll probably go back over these screws a little bit because I noticed that John didn't put any Loctite on them. I like to have a little bit of Loctite, just a little bit of blue Loctite. For right now, I'm just going to put it together right now so you guys can see the finished product. All right. There it is there, people. And that's the way this knife will always be from now on. gonna leave it just like this. Skiff bearings, Lynch Northwest titanium pocket clip. These knives are awesome. Absolutely love them, people. Perfect. Oh man, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, people. Highly recommend them. I know they're not the most inexpensive knife to get. There's no doubt about that. They're not inexpensive, but in my opinion, the AD20 series is the best series of pocket knives ever. Ever. And I just look forward to more blade styles, more different blade steels. And personally, I would like to see them make a model like this one, the AD20S or the AD20. You know, maybe make one of each. I don't know, or maybe keep the AD20 as totally exclusive or whatever. But I would like to see one of these made in Taiwan also. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. And the reason being is that I want to see one that's affordable. I think this knife needs to be available to everybody, just like the AD20.5. And you know, maybe charge $200 for it as opposed to charging like $150 for the version with the D2 and Grivery handle scales, like they do with the AD20.5. They offer that one. Now I see them going like for $124 as like a sale price, but normally they start out like $149. And so I would think one this size should be like $50 more. I can see that. Ask $50, $25 to $50 more for it. Make it from like $175 to $200 range, and offer it the same way with Grivery scales and D2 blade, and have it be made in Taiwan. And put a deep carry pocket clip on it though. I like the deep carry pocket clips. I know John Demko doesn't like deep carry fold over pocket clips. That's my pocket clip. Because I like the knife being totally hidden when it's in my pocket. I don't like people knowing what's in my pocket. That's just me. But you know, I can always swap out a pocket clip, so it's not that big of a deal. But I would like to see one of these made that costs like in between $175 and $200. And you guys can put the Grivery scales on it and be like the base model for the S model. And I think these, the ones that you guys make, I think they should be $300 knives. You know, because they're coming from your personal, they're coming from Wampum, PA or whatever. I think, you know, $300 to $400 is not a bad price to ask for these, because they are the best knife. I mean, I'm sure, you know, you can get some Benza or some other kind of knife that's made by a famous maker, you know, whatever, but it's still just going to be a frame lock or a liner lock or whatever, you know, or an axis lock or something like that. But it's not going to be the shark lock. There's only one shark lock. And the Atlas lock from Cold Steel is a very cool lock. It's very nice. It's very nice. You know, it works, functions very nicely and everything. But it's not a shark lock either. This lock is positioned in the optimal place for fidgeting. I mean, it's like in a perfect position. And I like the way it protrudes like the way it does. You know, at first it sort of bugged me a little bit, but after I got used to it, I realized this is the best way to do this knife. You know, as y'all know, I like Tontos. I want a Tonto. And I want a 4-inch knife. I want a 4-inch blade knife. You know, at least I know legality reasons that, you know, it's always better to make something a little bit smaller than 4 inches, so it's legal in more places in the United States. I don't have a problem with that. Make it 3.9, that's fine. But make it really close to 4 inches, so if the knife feels bigger. This handle is perfect, but It'd be cool if it was a little bit, you know, it could be a little bit bigger, but I love this handle. I love this handle, so. And I love this knife with a 3.5-inch blade too. But I would like a 4-inch Tanto blade. A 4-inch Tanto. With the exact same handle, you know, just make it so the blade and everything fits together. But I love this handle. This handle's perfect. You don't have to put any swell in it or anything. I sort of like it being flat like this because it conceals better in my pockets. So this is an ideal knife for me. And I love this pattern of grip. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I pretty much have stuck with that pattern in my other knives I've chosen too. I know they're slightly different, but I like the grippy texture patterns. This one right here, that thing is called OG2. OG2 from Original Goat. The pattern. I'm just talking about the pattern, not the materials that's made out of. The pattern. It's a very grippy, good feeling pattern. This one is Shark's Tooth. The titanium one is Shark's Tooth. This one is OG1 pattern. It's the OG1 pattern. All these patterns I would highly recommend. To me, they're my favorite patterns. This one's a good pattern too. This is called Pineapple. But I sort of like these patterns a little bit better. As far as like the grip, the way it feels, the grippiness. I like the way this one looks though. It sort of looks like a grenade. But the original pattern that John Demko uses feels perfect. I love the old grippy cold steel knives, the G10 that they had, and this feels perfect, and it's fun to use. It's fun to use, and this blade, this type of blade, the Shark's Foot or the sheep's foot blade or whatever you want to call it, Shark's Foot, it works perfectly for opening up boxes and packages and things I normally have to use a knife for. This knife blade works perfect. I know it sounds like I'm really promoting this knife, but this is really the knife I like the best. It is. I try to be honest with you guys, because I know you guys are going to see me always review other knives and stuff like that, but I just want you to know what I really like. This is what I really like. I really like this knife. And I like whether you get it with the clip blade or the drop point blade or the Shark's Foot blade. These are the knives I like the best. I just wish that they'd come out with a Tanto too, because I'm a Tanto person. I love Tanto blades. But this is a beautiful blade. I want to see a Tanto like the one that they put on the AD10. The AD10. I love the shape of that Tanto blade. I love the hollow grind in it. With the chisel ground tip. That's awesome. All right, people. That's all I got for you tonight. A couple of videos I made for you guys. But now, this collection is complete. This collection is complete. My aluminums, my G10, my aluminums, and my titaniums. This was the one that's been getting carried the most, but I have a funny feeling this one is going to be the one I carry all the time now. I'm going to tell you the reason why I like orange handles too. Because I found out when people see knives like this with orange handles or brightly colored handles, they just think, oh, that's it's a cute knife or whatever. They don't think of it as like a self-defense tool. So it sort of helps it, float under the radar. If y'all know what I'm talking about. It makes it look friendlier. It doesn't make it look like it was meant to be a weapon or a self-defense tool. That's just my personal opinion. A knife is a knife. Knife is a knife, but we always got to deal with sheeple. And I like keeping my knives. I don't like scaring people or anything like that. Especially a knife that I'm going to carry. It has to be a knife that, if I do have to pull out in front of people, I don't want it to freak out people. As you all know, I love my Tau Wars. I love my extra large Voyagers and all my mega folders from Cold Steel. But when you pull one of those things out in front of somebody, it scares them.